The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Boyd's ATA Black Belt Academy in Marrero, Louisiana. Barreto Home Solutions. Bayou Audio and Video. Hot Works on the North Shore. JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington. Lil Dizzy's Cafe. Kumon of Gretna. HBP Construction and Consulting. Moe's Pizza. Buck's Snow Whiz. CC's Children Blocks. The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana. Leo Auto Glass. The Juber Family in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Dat Kitchen Restaurant in Chalmette, Louisiana. CoSource Financial Group.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy. We got a good one for y'all tonight. 7:25, the head coach of the Jena Giants, Jay Roark, will join us. And at 8 o'clock, the head coach of the Ovey Comeaux High School, the one and only Marquis Newsome, is going to join us. As you see, I got my good friend, the one and only, VK Jones. What's up, VK?
What's going on, JB? What's going on, everybody? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms. We are on YouTube, on JB the Sports Guy. We are on X. We are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. So continue to like, tag, share, subscribe, and also continue to support us with the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week. 2 more weeks away to the playoffs, and then also going into basketball season. So continue to support us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get going, VK Jones. And there it is. To stay committed or to uncommit is the question. What should the LSU football commits class of 2026 do? And reason why I bring this up, because we know Brian Kelly has been fired. He's gone. And a lot of the commits, they want to play for Brian Kelly. That's who's been recruiting them. And a lot of commits, some of them, it's their dream school. So some will stay because it's their dream school, but others may uncommit soon, VK. What should be done in regards to that, VK?
Well, the good thing is that Frank Wilson's the interim coach, and he's the main guy who has been one of the main recruiters for LSU. So I think that he's going to do everything they can. I think the staff's going to do everything they can as possible to keep some of those recruiters, especially committed to the school. I know I heard the other day, and I was talking with Lamar Gafford, one of the big receivers from Tioga actually flipped and is committed to LSU now. So that is big there. So I think the thing is the coaching staff has just got to commit to do what they can to let those kids know that, hey, you know Brian Kelly's gone. There's still a home for you and everything else. And also there's an opportunity for you.
But you say that, and it's not guaranteed that that coaching staff will be there next season.
And you're right. And you're right. I'm just saying what needs to be done
Oh, they
Why
got a
they're
job to
there.
do still.
They still have a job to do. They still have a job to do, regardless of the fact. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these next couple games under Frank Wilson. Hopefully, if he can get it together, and I know he's a New Orleanian, he's a St. Augustine Purple Knight and everything, and all that stuff, but he has got to make the turn like Ed Ogeron did. He's got to make the turn because you have to think his head coaching stints has not been good. It's
Mm-mm.
not been good at all. So he has got to make that turn this time to see, because it's like more of the Ed Ogeron term to be like, okay, he must have learned something because he's a much better coach than we thought. So we'll see what happens there. If he can win the rest of the season, don't be surprised that Frank Wilson's name is going to be in that hat to be a top candidate for the job if they finish strong the rest of the way. So we'll got to see what happens with that. But at the same time, it's good that you still have him on the staff. It's good that they still have Cortez Hankton still on the staff and everything, even despite he's not calling an offense. He's still on the staff. He's not fired. But we'll see what happens here going forward. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. The offseason is going to be interesting to see what happens. If LSU finishes strong under Frank, it's going to get interesting because the candidates, interesting names, including somebody that's not too far from here.
George Peppers, your thoughts? Should these players who have committed to LSU, should they stay committed or should they uncommit and reopen their recruiting?
I think it's a fluid situation, really, to be honest with you. Because now you have a transitional stage you have to guide through with the fact that you're getting rid of an era that was quite honestly a failure. And to me, a failure. And numbers lie in this case. Ryan Kelly won almost 70% of his games, but did they win championships? No, they didn't. He was there 3+ years before he was terminated. Jared, you and I talked in advance of the show, and I'm going to bring this up now. I had a discussion, VK. I'm going to include you in it, and it wasn't with you. It was with somebody, a coworker, and he goes, "Brian Kelly is the best coach LSU ever had." And I was like, "Okay, make your case." Well, he's won 70% of his games, and I said, "Okay, but did he win championships?" Let's flash back, shall we? Let's flash back, shall we? Les Miles, Manhattan, bad time management, horrible time management, but won a natty in his first 4 years. Ed Ogeron, worst coach LSU ever had, won a natty. Did Brian Kelly win one? Dog, guys, when I tell you I heard crickets, yeah, the crickets were screaming louder than him at that point. But as far as your question, no, don't decommit. I think you monitor the situation, see where it goes from here. And Frank Wilson at UTSA didn't do a good job. VK, you don't think? When he was with Texas San Antonio.
He had a losing record at Texas San Antonio and at McNeese
Overall.
State.
But
Overall,
he
period.
but remember that program transitioned to D1 when he got there. Let's not forget they were transitioning into Division 1, and it takes a minute to get right.
That
You're upgrading an opponents.
that is true, but
Mhm.
McNeese State proved that he has work to do. He was at McNeese State for 3 years.
Oh, I forgot he
You would
coached there.
you would think the
I forgot he
improvement.
coached there.
Yeah, you would. That was the second job. You would think he would improve his coaching
But
from the
let's
mistakes he made at Texas San Antonio. Now, I ain't gonna lie. What you're saying is a good point, a very good point, because yeah, it was a transition time. But you look at Texas San Antonio; they're really better off now. But then you look at him at McNeese; it's like a time when you're trying to recover a program that is still right now in the depths of hell in the state of Louisiana and couldn't
all
do it.
I know is
So
BK. All I know is I feel vindicated because I said this to you two at the beginning of the year that Nussmeyer would be the undoing of Brian Kelly because he's
Oh,
not the
it ain't
guy that
Nussmeier.
oh,
It
it
ain't
ain't
it's
Nussmeier.
Musselman. No,
it's
sir.
not
No,
it's
sir.
not. Then what
All
is
I'm gonna
it
tell
then?
you, all I'm gonna tell you is this.
Brian Kelly.
This is the worst LSU offense I've ever seen. And it
Who do you
is
attribute it
not
to? Okay,
everybody.
the leader, the
Everybody.
quarterback. So the quarterback gets.
Everybody.
So
It
wait, the
starts.
quarterback
It
gets
starts
no.
at.
Everybody.
Hold
It
on.
starts at Brian Kelly, number one.
It starts with Brian Kelly, but the quarterback is absolved.
No,
No, it's
no. I'm gonna say this. Let me
go ahead.
let me hop in right here.
Go
Right.
ahead, go ahead,
This,
JB.
All
this
right.
is mainly Brian Kelly's situation,
What about
and
Joe Sloan?
no, I'm going there too because Joe Sloan was bad with play calling. It was bad.
Horrible,
It was so bad. You knew what they were calling. You knew the play. It
predictable.
was so bad. Those the
Hmm.
main two. I know Nuts was hurt, but I'm not putting all this on Nuts. I'm really
I'm
not.
not either.
And and they look right now. There's Aaron Anderson, and I really think they don't know how to get the ball to Aaron Anderson, how to use him correctly. That's on
What about
coaching.
Harlan Berry?
Who?
Harlan Berry.
Holland Berry just a freshman. He's just a freshman.
Understood.
That's still a wait and see on what happens with Holland Berry moving forward. That's still a wait and see. But like to me, Aaron Anderson, like beginning of the year, people were talking Aaron Anderson, first, second round draft pick in the NFL. Now they're like, what's going on? What's happening? Who is Aaron Anderson? Like they haven't used him correctly.
Mm.
You got a couple of wide receivers on that team, in my opinion, that are not good route runners. Also, in my opinion, but mainly to me, it's Brian Kelly, number one, and number two, Joe Sloan. Brian Kelly never took accountability for nothing. Nothing.
And when you
Ever.
say that, piggybacking off of that, and when you say that, I'm going to piggyback. The presser he had with a very good reporter, Michael Cobble, a couple of weeks ago, when Cobble went at him about, oh,
What's up, everybody? Me. Sorry,
okay, what
George.
just
Sorry, my
happened?
bad. I had the wrong thing.
Oh,
Go
you
ahead.
good, baby? You good? Anyway, the presser um, where he went at Michael Cobble, who's a very respected
Let me
journalist.
let me stop you right quick because I'm glad
Okay,
Bo Willie said this because Bo Willie's son is Jabari Mack, and we know Jabari Mack committed to LSU, and here it is. The whole staff was a part in recruiting my son, and the tradition of LSU football is why he will stay committed. So he's staying
100%.
with LSU because tradition also. So cool. Thank you, Bo Willie, for sharing that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
GB.
thank you. We appreciate that. But the presser he had with him and where he snapped at him, it's like Brian Kelly. So you think you're untouchable? First of all, you could. It's a good thing he's fired. I'm not an advocate of those losing their jobs, but when you're that blatantly disconnected and really never was embraced by this community, because remember when he got hired, his first public appearance was at the PMAC, pulling that nonsensical fake Cajun accent. It was like, dude, that made me queasy. I was like, you serious? You're not. Be your. Whatever happened to the axiom? Be yourself. He forgot that quickly. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. You really? That's how we going right now. I mean, to me, that really, when you have an opening presser or opening public appearance, you want to endear yourself to the community. But the only way, and I work as a public servant, being a law enforcement official, y'all know this, but the only way to do it is to be yourself. Don't try to be Boudreaux, Thibodeau, or Geron, all the Cajun names you can think of. No, be you. Be Brian Kelly. I guess the disconnect with that, you know, let's let's not go there. Let's not. This was an era that needed to end, and to the kids that have stayed committed and whatnot, stick it out. I'm gonna say this though about Frank Wilson. If the talk I'm hearing is about big game hunting, he's not big game hunting. He's gonna do a good job. He's gonna keep that team afloat. They'll win a few more games, get to a bowl game, and if they're interested, they win it. And that's quite frankly, they get Bama in 2 weeks. They're not going to lose. I make the joke that they can't lose this week, but it's the bye week this week for them. But they do go to Bama. Yeah, they go to Alabama next week, and that is always going to be a problem. Bama showed a little things in the armor over the weekend at South Carolina, but that was a game I had a feeling the Gamecocks were going to stick it out. LSU, what is the success rate for Frank Wilson late? There are games on the schedule they can win. Kentucky, Oklahoma. I really think they could beat Oklahoma. I do. I'm not sold on the Sooners. I just am not. I am not sold on Oklahoma. And I think John Battle, the quarterback, he's not, I don't think he's that dude. So LSU, what can constitute a successful finish? He can win 3 games. get to 8.
Let's
Right.
let's look at VK in here. Go ahead, VK.
Go ahead, big dude.
Yeah, yes, sir. But but like I said, this is the worst offense at LSU I ever seen. It's everything in a combination. You know what I'm saying? The play calling was bad in itself. I think now I see what the reporter was actually doing, asking that question.
It was a legit question to ask.
It was, and
100%.
you kind of find out at first it wasn't. When I looked at the
It
games,
wasn't. Yeah, it was.
at first to you it wasn't. To you it was.
Yeah.
To me it wasn't. But when I
Oh,
took
wait,
the
wait.
time,
Wait.
can I
VK,
explain?
why?
Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish. Look, I thought at first, I'm like, wait, you got to give him time a little bit. But all of a sudden, when I looked at the games, it made me change my mind. And I was like, I'm like, that reporter is right. Because I'm like, look how the offense is. This offense is running too bad. And it's like, the play calling is one. Two is the fact you can't put that on us, Mob, because there are weeks receivers dropping in the guy doggone ball, weeks that he cannot get protection. And then on top of that, the timing of some of those plays. It's looking like the year when Leonard Fournette was playing running back and some of the play calls in that offense. Like, come on here. Like, this is worse than that because LSU cannot score above 13 points a game, and that's a shame. That's really bad.
Against
And
good team.
not just good against anybody. Like they struggle early, and then all of a sudden they turn up against average teams, and they are last in the SEC in offense. Last. They have dude. You have one of the best defenses in the SEC, possibly maybe top 10 in the country, but your offense can't score a lick of a point. That ain't good at all, bro. That just shows that this is the worst LSU offense I ever seen. This is ridiculous. I mean, just all the way down. I can see sometimes, of a certain player, but sometimes it's a whole unit. It's a whole unit. There's no
You know what?
consistency
Mm-hmm.
down the whole unit, and that's bad. And it starts with the head coach and the offensive coordinator, which is gone, and hopefully things will get better with their offense because they're going to need it. They're going to need it.
The best thing that could have happened for LSU is the bye week because you're giving them time to institute a system for in advance of probably I would say the toughest game, and it may be because A&M showed you what they were, and Vegas. I don't know what y'all were thinking, making them just a 2-point favorite Saturday. That was mindless. But
Because
the
it was a
running
road
joke.
team.
Yeah, well,
They was
yeah,
at home. It'd have been higher than that. It'd have been a 9-point
and,
favorite at
and
home.
LSU was 20-1 at night games under Brian Kelly at Tiger Stadium. Make that 20-2. But the running joke is about LSU. If you're a defensive coordinator, you don't have to game plan. Just guess. Just predict. It was too predictable. If you're a DC film study, we playing LSU. We got that. That's the running joke for them. But going forward, what would you guys? I'll ask you both. What would you constitute a successful finish for Frank Wilson? I don't think he's going to be the head coach permanently. I do think it's a chance for him. Can he stay on his staff for one, and for two, is he going to look for another head coaching job once the new staff gets here? But what would constitute a successful finish for LSU in your minds? Give me y'all and give me huh?
I think Frank Wilson stays put for recruiting
Agree.
purposes. Number one,
Yep.
I don't think you get rid of Frank Wilson at all. I think Cortez Hankton has to stay. I think
Agree.
Corey Raymond has to stay.
Yep.
I think Kyle Williams got to stay. I think that's the four important ones that must
He's their
stay.
line coach, right? He's their D-line coach, right?
D-line
Kyle
coach, yeah.
Williams.
I think
Okay.
that's the four for sure that got to stay.
No
What
doubt.
about the defensive
But
coordinator?
who?
Defensive
Baker.
Blake
coordinator.
Baker. Yeah, Blake Baker. Yeah.
Yeah, you forgot him.
Thank you. I did. But I want to say this: a successful season moving forward for I think if Frank wins 2 games is good enough right now for LSU. I know they got 4 games left.
Yeah.
If he can
They
win
got
3 is definitely fine, and you got to consider him for the head coaching position. But I think if he wins 2, it's fine. And I think if he happens to beat Alabama It's just gonna say enough right there.
Well, that'll endear him to the natives. If they beat Alabama in 2 weeks' time, that would be a holy cow. Let's look at this cap. But VK, what about you?
What's LSU's current record right now?
5-3.
5-3, and they got 4 games left.
One to get the bowl eligibility.
Exactly. 9-3 or 8-4. 9-3 or 8-4. If he gets to that, it's a definite success for him, and it'll be definitely, especially if they go to a bowl and they win it. His name is definitely going to get in the hat as a candidate. His name is definitely going to get in the hat for a candidate, especially if he finishes strong for the rest of the season. Even if he don't get the job, LSU should know what's best for them. You keep the best assistants, especially with the new head coach coming in. And it depends if the new head coach and the athletic director be on the same page to hopefully keep the names you just mentioned, JB, things will be okay. So I really think 8-3, 8-4, or 9-3 for Frank Wilson if he can do it.
So who's the next head coach?
Well, we got a couple minutes. This is my thoughts on who's be the next head coach, and I know some of y'all have seen my options on Facebook. Number one is throw everything at Nick Saban to get him to unretire. That's the first thing. Throw whatever you got to throw at him to get him to come out of retirement. But I think Nick's going to stay. I don't think Nick wants to fight with the NIL stuff, so I think Nick stays. Number two, Lane Kiffin. I really think Lane Kiffin is on top of the board. If you don't get Nick Saban, it's Lane Kiffin. Number three, some people didn't call me crazy. They didn't say you tripping, JB, but I'm looking at a guy that's won 3 national championships, a guy that has won everywhere he's coached, a guy that's won 2 of those national championships in the SEC. That's Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer. I'm telling you, I will go after Urban Meyer if I can't get those 2. But Urban Meyer on a podcast just said he had a problem, which I do too, with the governor stepping in, making decisions on a university. So with Urban saying that, I just don't think Urban gonna come here unless there's a president here. So, no. But that would be my 3. After that, I really don't know. Maybe a call to Jimbo Fisher.
I'll tell you who I would.
Go ahead, bro.
I'll tell you who one candidate, because he had success in the SEC with an institution that doesn't win a lot, and they're doing great things this year. And I know VK gonna trip on me when I say this name. I'm not saying he's my first choice. My first choice for the record is Lane Kiffin. I think Nick's not going to come out of retirement. I'm in lockstep with you, JB. But Lane Kiffin, he sees Baton Rouge as an opportunity to expand and win a natty. Okay, he won't do it at Ole Miss. He could do it here. Urban Meyer, I know he's got 3 national championships, but that image is everything. If LSU wants to have the cleanse image, Urban ain't that dude. His last stop at Ohio State when he got busted in the strip bar and all that stuff, cheating on his wife and all the infidelities and stuff. Look, image is everything in college football, especially when you're the leader of young men. For me, though,
Petrino back at Arkansas, it's the pass.
Petrino messing with his secretary, though. That's another nasty dude, and he should not be the head coach at Arkansas. But that's another story.
Over there.
He is. Got me anyway, but the name I'm going to mention, and I'm not saying he's my first choice, but he did win a lot and got him another job and was recently fired. James Franklin.
Make it quick.
James Franklin would be a guy I'd look at because he won at Vanderbilt.
Who you got, VK?
Man, my only pick, and I know we got to make this quick, and anyway, I know we'll get more into that maybe tomorrow, but Dan Lanning, Oregon. He has the experience. They coached a great defense at Georgia in their glory days. He has the experience in the SEC. I think Dan Lanning is your choice to come back to the SEC, to Baton Rouge, and to try to lead this program. Urban Meyer, I hate to say it, it's an interesting choice. That's what you think, JB, but absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Urban Meyer, baby.
Too much,
Meyer, baby.
Too much. Yeah, too much on the record, dude. No, it's not just the pass. Not just the fact of the pass. Here's the thing.
Championship,
it
baby.
don't matter, dude.
Well, we're gonna take this commercial break. And we're gonna
I'm-
come back. That's why I'm trying to make it quick.
Go ahead.
We got
Yeah.
Coach in the lobby. Coach Jay Roark, the head coach of the Jena Giants, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
What's up, everybody? Me and VK Jones had to come to Little Dizzy's. Yeah, well, VK, man, wasted no time, and he loved the fried chicken and the dirty rice from Little Dizzy's. Look at what I had. Yes, indeed. Oh, y'all know I love candy yams. Oh, yeah. That fried chicken was one of the best I ever had. And just like how Miss Arkisha Baquette says it, come to Little Dizzy's, where the food is always hot and it comes straight from the pot. Are you in need of a new windshield? Leo Autoglass can help. For 20 years, Leo Autoglass have been servicing the New Orleans area with windshield replacement and auto glass repair. Give them a call today, 504-301-8353.
Welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy. Our next guest, he is the head coach of the Jena Giants, and they're looking to make a strong push to the playoffs. Got to the semifinals last year. Now they're looking to get to the Superdome, coming off of a big win over Bunkie this past weekend. The one and only Coach Jay Roark. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Doing good, Coach. Thank you for joining us. Coach, I want to go back to your game on Friday night right quick against Bunkie. You put up 68 points on a good Bunkie team, but how impressed were you with your defense and how they played that game?
Well, I thought they played very well, and we needed them to. We needed to show some improvement in areas, and we did that. Played very well, especially in the first half, creating some turnovers and making some stops. And offense took care of it, or took advantage of it, rather, and was proud of a freshman, scoring a defensive touchdown in the first start he's ever had in his career. And that was a huge moment for him, a huge moment for us. And kind of the momentum, not necessarily changed, but we really grasped momentum there when he picked up that ball and scored it for us.
Definitely. Through 8 games, you're 7-1. What's been the most challenging situation your team has faced so far this season?
Coming into the season, the challenge of replacing 9 starters on defense is something that it's kind of challenged us every week. But we've grown up a little bit every week. And then probably the biggest challenge playing Tioga, very talented team, very good running back, very good quarterback, got a receiver that is getting a lot of looks. I think he recently swapped from Louisiana Tech to LSU as a commit. And we had some young guys trying to cover him. So that was a big deal for us. And, coming after that game, it was, how are we going to handle this? Because one of the biggest things we preached all year, January to the start of the season, is, what's going to define this team is how we overcome adversity, because we didn't do a great job of that when we had some adversity last year. And so far they've stepped up to that challenge, and hopefully we continue to do that.
Talk about overcoming adversity and your team stepping up to the challenge. How do you keep your team from becoming complacent and maintaining a one game at a time mentality?
Well, we preach it every week. It's not about them. In other words, it's not about the opponent. It's about us. We got to focus on getting better every rep, every day. It's not about, our next opponent. It's about our next rep. Let's be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. And the hunger is there, because we've been the last 2 years, we've been to the semis and we've been that close, especially 2 years ago. We really knocked on the door there, getting down there to the Dome for the first time in school history. And so there's a belief there for our kids now that, hey, we can do this. We've been this close. Let's knock that door down. And there's also an added hunger for that. So hopefully that'll keep them motivated. If that don't keep you motivated, I don't know if anything will.
Go ahead, VK.
Coach, how you doing? Good to have you on the show, man. You got a very, very good program, man. We've been keeping up with it and everything. And I see y'all continuing to thrive out there, Coach.
Well, I sure appreciate that. I'm definitely proud of our kids, proud of our coaching staff. I'm blessed with an outstanding coaching staff and a lot of experienced guys there. But big thing is our kids work hard. You know, as coaches, we can ask kids to do whatever we want to ask them to do, but it's up to them to step up to the challenge. And they good kids with good parents that know how to work, and that's helped us kind of get this thing going over the last few years.
Let's talk about your offensive side of the ball. I mean, the way y'all move the ball very, very well, and especially with the two deadly running backs you have in Daniel Hatcher and Cedric Wilson, man. I mean, it's thunder and lightning. Pick your poison, but they really are really good. But I know you lean towards that offensive line and also the quarterback. He's making some big plays for y'all as well, Coach.
Well, he is. He's playing very well. He's had some good runs and big moments in the option game, and he's also thrown the ball well. We have a big receiver in Adrian Cooper that has made some huge plays. I think he's probably scored touchdowns on about half of his touches this year. And, you know, he's a kid that didn't play football all the way until his sophomore year and came in kind of a backup role that year, but got some meaningful reps. Last year did well, and this year has blown up. And also Adrian Sharp, he's a tight end that we can flex out as a wide out too. And when you have guys like that to go along with Seth and Daniel and what they do, you know, because you got to stack the box. When we got Daniel's 207 pounds, Seth's about 195 pounds, and both of them can really run. So you got to pay attention to that, and that's why we've been so efficient in the passing game. Is because when we throw the ball, it's usually wide open. You know, and we've had to have some of those big plays, and we had some of those big plays the other night. You know, our first touchdown was a touchdown pass as Adrian Cooper that deuced through beautifully, and it was a good snag on the back shoulder. And then, Adrian Sharp had a big play on a fourth and really long, and deuced through a dime that he caught and was able to get some extra yardage after contact and got the first down there. And so when you got two backs that are running as well as they do, and an offensive line that's blocking as well as we block, and you throw in those guys, it definitely gives you some options and definitely gives you an opportunity to move the ball on some really good defenses.
Looking at this team this season, and I like I said, I kept up with things last couple of years, especially last year, knowing how young your team was, and you got to the semis, and I just knew going into this year, looking at the team that you had, and it kind of reminded me of the team 2 years ago when it first got to the semifinals and everything, and how deep this team and how talented they are. You know, what are your thoughts on how you think about this team comparing to the semifinal team 2 years ago?
Very similar. We had a lot of new faces on defense that year too, but there was also kind of the heart of that defense was back. Offensively, we had really good running back Zara Jones that year. Said was also back there in the backfield at that time, and so very similar. Both teams were very hungry to prove people wrong. Very hungry to take it to the next step, and I feel like that's kind of the same thing this year. Guys kind of have a chip on their shoulder because people expected us to be down because it's graduating such a big class and a lot of 3-year starters that we lost there. But good running game. I think consistent quarterback play is there as well. I think probably the biggest difference is from across the board from tight end to tight end or tackle to tackle. Is we're probably better up front this year. We had some good ones then too, but just a lot more experience with a young guy here and there that mixed in has done well for us too. So, a little bit of an experience on defense and a really mature offense is the similarities. But I think depth-wise, we're probably in a better spot this year, especially on the defensive line. We got Bubba Stevens that kind of anchors that thing. He's our senior D lineman. And then we got several guys that Parker Durham and Tingle, Nolan Williams, who got injured last year in the semifinal game, is just now really starting to get some meaningful reps. And Eli Estes is giving us meaningful reps this year. Elijah Townsend, it's a big list of names on the D line. And when you can rotate those guys in there and keep those guys fresh, man, it makes it so much easier for you, especially late in the game.
Last question before I pass it on to George Peppers. This year, you look at the power rankings, you're right in the top 2 in the division. I believe you're number 1. You and St. James are 1 and 2. What it would be like if you guys finish the season strong, finish 1 or 2, and all of a sudden you guys might not have to go anywhere at all and have all you play all games at home with a chance to get to the dome.
Well, that would be huge for us because we have an awesome home field advantage. If we were to play at home every week for the playoffs, that would be huge for us because we know we got a tough road ahead of us in that bracket. It's a tough division. I know that Sterlington is at least as good as they were last year. St. James as well, and it's going to be tough. So hopefully we can end up in that 1 seed and get those two guys on the same side of the bracket with each other. But either way, home field advantage throughout is a huge, huge plus for us.
George Peppers, you're up.
Coach Roark, first off, congratulations on a very big win Friday night against the Bunkie Panther team. Was very highly regarded. You guys were able to get to the win, and pretty emphatically, I must say, 68 points on the road. That's a big get, and congratulations on the dub.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. First question, though. What did you see on that Bunkie defense on film that you felt like you could have success? Because that defense was really the carrier for them last year, and they were talking about their defense this year. What did you guys see that you were able to have the success that you did?
Well, I didn't. To be honest, we didn't really expect us to move the ball as well as we did. They did lose some guys up front defensively.
They did.
They had really good linebackers returning this year, and they played well. But, it's a little bit different look up front for them this year, and I think our guys were able to kind of have some success against that, that part of their defense. They're still really good. Look, those guys play hard. They had some sickness during the week, too, that they dealt with, but they played their guts out. But that was the biggest difference is the players they lost up front.
When you talk about your team offensively, I mean, you guys, against the two top teams and the two teams adjacent to you in that district, Marshall and Bunkie, you scored 130 points, 136 points in both those games. And that really says a lot about how proficiently you guys are offensively. And I think the diversity that you guys show is really going to be strong. It should set you up for the playoffs. But what are you looking at these last two games in advance of the playoffs? I mean, you guys, like VK mentioned, they're a top 2 seed. What is the message over these next 2 games for your team to keep them on game?
Keep getting better. I still feel like we haven't reached our potential on offense or defense. There's some phases of the game that we have not gotten to very well offensively that would make us even better, even more tough to stop, keeping people honest and getting through all 3 phases of the triple option that we like to do. So just keep getting better and not being satisfied. That the guys have been working since January extremely hard and feel like we got a whole another season of football left to play if we do what we're supposed to do.
And you talked about you had to replace 9 starters defensively. That's a heck of a transition. How do you feel about your defense going into these last 2 games? What would be how do you feel about your defense progressively wise as we've gone through 8 games of the season? Give me one word to describe that defense of yours.
Gritty. And I don't know if I can say it all in one. Big thing is they have faced adversity and they've faced some growing pains. They have done it with a great attitude and going back to work every single day, trying to get better. And I think we've seen the biggest improvement in the last 2 weeks throughout the whole season. It got a little better, but the last 2 weeks, I feel like the light bulb has really started to flicker, and I feel like it's coming on for a lot of players. A lot of times, especially defensively, that's all it takes. That one good hit or trust in that one read to go get that interception. So very proud of them. They've overcome adversity, and they have not given up, and they've had a great attitude about it the whole time.
Central Louisiana has been known to not have great teams, but it seems like the depth of really good teams are starting to come to fruition. You mentioned Bunkie last year as a semifinalist. You guys have been there. Alexandria got to the Superdome last year. Talk about the growth of St. football, because I lived up there for 12 years, living in Bunkie, and seeing the evolution is really something to behold. But talk about it from your perspective as a coach and how good Central Louisiana has gotten in football.
Well, I think it has, had some very good years in the past few years, and I think I don't know the answer to that other than I think that you're starting to see a lot more administrative support and making it important, and I think that's what's helped kind of grow Alexandria. Definitely has helped us. We're blessed with great leadership, great administration that really supports all of our athletics, and there's no reason we can't be. I mean, why are our kids different than kids from South Louisiana or North Louisiana? At the end of the day, they're kids, and it's our job to do the best thing that we can do to give them the opportunities that they have to be the best that they can be. And I think that the last few years has shown that we can definitely do that.
And last question before I turn it back over to JB. Again, you guys have knocked at the door. What would it? And look, Jena football. For those of you that don't know, that is a passionate community. Those guys, they're your students, your fans, your alumni show out, and y'all have great support. But what would it mean for you? Two-part question for you as a coach and for that community to finally get to the Superdome and maybe have a chance and win that state championship. What would it mean?
It would mean everything to me, because it's something that I believed in, and there was times it was something that I wasn't sure if it was ever possible, but I have no doubt in my mind and my heart now, as close as we've been, it's right there. We're knocking on the door for this community. Unreal what it would mean to them, the amount of support that we have, the passion they have. It's very rare that no matter home or away that we don't have a bigger crowd. We have a great support system, and I would love to see that side of the dome filled up with black and gold, because I can tell you they will be there. They will travel, and it would mean the absolute world to all of us to be able to finally knock that door down.
Most definitely. Coach Jay Roark of the Jena Giants, thank you for joining us tonight,
Yes,
Coach, and we want to wish you the best of luck to you and your team moving forward. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
You too.
That is Coach Jay Roark. And I almost had an accident just happen. My light almost just fell down, and there we go. I'm about to have chaos on my end. But anyway, guys, Jay Roark, Coach Jay Roark mentioned it. 2 straight years to the semifinals. 2 years ago, we were like, whoa, they got there. And then, last year, we were kind of shocked they got there, because I don't think we expected it. Now we're like, yo, this team is legit. Got a great shot to get to the dome. And if they could stay at number 1, it's going to be tight with them and St. James, only 0.03 from the, separation between the two. But if they can stay at number 1 and probably avoid St. James and Sterlington, not saying that St. James and Sterlington would beat them. I'm not saying that, but you can stay at number 1. Boy, that dome looking pretty good. That road to the dome looking pretty good, VK. Especially you got to go through Jena. Black and gold to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
But it'd be black and gold to the Superdome.
Black and gold to the Superdome, black and gold of the Giants of Jena. And they are, what I'm saying, this will be huge for them if they stay at the number 1 spot, And I think, either way, wherever it goes, if both Sterlington and St. James are on the same side, well, we know what kind of war that'll be in if these two will meet in the semis. But for Jena, it's going to be really interesting. And I think they know how to handle the success now. So I think the maturity more than anything else is going to help them tremendously. They got a great chance to get to the dome.
Peppers.
Look, that's a team like Coach Roark mentions. They've knocked on the doorstep, and I know about that team and the evolution of what they have become now. That is an extremely dangerous entity going into these playoffs, as the way the season has played out. And who's not salivating over a potential Jena St. James or Jena Sterlington final? Man, sign me up if that's the final we get. Holy mackerel. And the talent pool with St. James, with those kids, Jackson, Young, and all that star power. Then Jena's got the double dip at running back and a good quarterback. Man, that talent pool would be immense. But I admire the job that he has done. And that was a very volatile atmosphere Friday night at Bunkie, road games, it's us against the world, right? Isn't that the axiom that coaches like to use, which is so true? And they went in the eye of the tiger and beat down the Bunkie Panthers 68-46. That was an impressive win. Now, obviously, the guard now is these last 2 games, which on paper they figured to do well. It's a matter of keeping those guys sharp. I think Coach Roark has been the best thing that has happened to Jena as a head coach. I think with him, they have an established identity, and their game is just really elevated. And as he mentioned, and it's so important in these smaller schools, administrative support is so key to have success. If you do not have administrative backing, there's no shot. And you mentioned black and gold. I digress in saying this, but that black and gold is looking better than the regular tenants of the Superdome this year, don't they? Just just
Uh,
throwing it out there. But no, I admire what Coach Roark has done, and I think they've got a real shot, gentlemen. We might see this team the second weekend of December in New Orleans. We just might.
We just might. All right. We got Coach Newsome at 8 o'clock. We got 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why I put me like that. I don't know why that wasn't the plan, but I'm about to fix it. Why I did that, I don't know. But let's get to some of y'all's favorite topics. One of them is the top five, ladies and gentlemen, our top five. And I'll go first. My top five: Edna Carr, John Curtis, St. Augustine, North DeSoto, and Turlings finally enters my top five after 8 weeks. I know you guys ain't got nothing to say about it. I know y'all don't, VK and George Peppers.
We don't.
nope, we don't. It's a real legit top five, man. It's a real legit top five. You know what I'm saying? So
I do have
um,
one question for the both of you about Turlings. How impressive were they against East Ascension, and the emphasis of how they won that game, how big they won? That to me was as emphatic a win around the state as anybody, other than another team that I almost considered in my top five. But East Ascension was 5-2 coming into that game, had a good record, beat some good teams, but Turlings made short work of that team. How impressive was that effort, guys? To you?
It was very, very impressive, but you got to also remember they had something on their mind. You got to remember this, okay?
Hmm.
They had it on their mind. Coach Dane Chaponche was coming back.
Yep.
Coach Dane Chaponche was the head coach for many years at Turlings, decided to go be the OC at East Ascension. So trust me, don't think that the new head coach wasn't putting that in their heads for motivation.
Hmm.
And they had it on their mind that game, and it's probably the best they've played all year, leading up to the game they have this Friday night with St. Thomas More.
well, I can. I think JB makes a real good point in everything with that. But I also think it was impressive to me because Turlins took care of business. They really took care of business, and on top of that, they did not overlook what's coming up this week. They did not overlook it at all. And STM better have the antennas up and be ready because this Turlins team, I think they want this really bad. They want it bad, bad. Because I don't know when the last time Turlins is beating STM. So this, I think last week was a huge, besides the motivation, it was a huge statement win because I thought that game was going to be close and some way, somehow, Turlins would probably win the ball game. But man, when they just dominated the game, it's like, okay, they're not looking ahead at all. These people have it on their mind to try to finish undefeated and win that district championship. So it is, I like what I've seen from Turlins, and they're continuing to impress.
All right, Cheese says take out Turlings and add West Monroe. And Cheese, that's a good team to put in there.
That's
I,
legitimate.
I got you.
That's legitimate.
It's legit.
Very legitimate.
Okay. Let's go to VK's top five. All right. There you have it. Edna Carr 1, St. Aug 2, John Curtis 3, Turlings number 4, North DeSoto 5. So I ain't got much to say about it, VK. I don't know if George got a question about it or not. I don't know.
You still think St. August ahead of Curtis at 2 and 3? I'm not gonna rehash it. I don't necessarily disagree like vehemently or nothing like that. I just feel like Curtis and they play on week 10 because they got
Week
Carr
10.
this week. And what a closing stretch for the Patriots, huh? Carr this week and all next week.
That's
Holy
rough.
cow. Now, here's the thing. Let's do a hypothetical for both of you. Let's say Curtis wins this week against Carr. Let's say they beat Carr and they beat all. But let's say they beat all in a convincing fashion. They got to be number one, right?
I think
But I
if
think
Curtis
BK,
if Curtis beats Edna Carr Friday night, Curtis is number 1 regardless.
no doubt,
Yes. Yes.
no doubt. And
Agree.
yeah, and we're in uniformity when you reveal my top five, JB, in a short second or two. Um, but I don't have any issue this week. There's really nothing to extrapolate. Really, just it looks pretty basic and it's pretty sensible. Now you talk about adding West Monroe. Look, I think Alexandria has something to say about it with what they did to Ruston Friday night at
Yeah, but
Ruston.
West Monroe beat
They beat
Alexandria.
them. They
They
beat
beat them.
them, but on a late number to get it.
But
It took a
but
late score to get
regardless of
it.
the fact, it's
They
a win.
won.
Win is a win. They
Right,
won
right. I'm
for
not. I'm
sure.
not. I'm not harping.
Right.
And
I see
I'm
what you're
looking at
saying.
the comment. I'm following the comments, and STM, like VK said, they better have their antennas up because that Turlings team, I think, made a statement Friday night.
And you look at the top. I kept saying all two because of the fact of the matter is like last week the performance wise. I think this week both performed very well. St. Aug did tremendous in that homecoming game despite the weather and distractions. For them to take care of business and not look ahead. So for them to
Mhm.
do that, to me, I had to keep it to where it was. I put Turlins. I gave them the leap to 4 because of what they did against East Ascension. What they did East
Understood.
Ascension, they was going to top 5, but I'm like, I'm gonna give them a little leap. I'm gonna give them 4 and North Dakota 5.
Okay. Now we go to George Pepper's top 5. And we have the same 5 teams. This might be the first time in forever that we have the same 5 teams. But George, he got Curtis 1. No, excuse me. Edna Carr 1, John Curtis 2, Turlins 3, North
Well,
DeSoto 4, St. Augustine number 5. That'd be the only thing I got putting St. Augustine number 5. That's the only issue I would have with it, but that's it. VK.
That would be my only issue too. But
mhm.
I get where George is coming from with having North Dakota 4, but I would
I get
definitely
it too with
put.
the undefeateds. I get it
Yeah,
too.
the undefeateds. Yeah, that's what he's probably doing. I would have probably put all 4 instead, then put North Dakota 5. But yeah, North Dakota still ain't lost a game, so
No, you wouldn't, because
it's
you got Og
understandable.
number 2. You wouldn't put Og 4. You got Og number 2.
No, I'm talking about in George's top 5, not
Don't be
mine.
George top 5. Be you.
Oh, of course
Cool.
I'm being me. I'm just
Oh,
breaking down his top 5.
Don't
I
worry
know
about
what
me.
I
see,
got on my top 5, so I'm not worried about
v,
that. But
VK
it's
got
just
sent off too because the alumni association put that heat on him. That's what happened.
no
See, man,
sir,
they
no
not do that.
sir, no
I'm
sir.
messing.
They got to do
I'm
with that. I know
messing.
you messing. I know you messing.
I'm being silly, but no, my top 5 is pretty basic. I mean, look, it's obviously fluid because we got some pretty titanic matchups here in the next couple of weeks. You got Carr Curtis this week. You got St. Thomas More and Turlings. That's another prove it ground for Turlings this week, I think, because SDM has had their number over the recent past. So it's a proving ground for this Turlings Catholic team that they're going to have to up their game and say, look, we're here. And oh Lord, Shelby Boyle with the VK chance already. I see that. But other than the top 5 that we have, since we're all in the same, is West Monroe you guys the first team on the outside looking in, or was there somebody else that you were looking at to stick in that top 5? If not for the 5 that we have, that
No, for me
question's
it's
for
West
both of
Monroe.
you.
For me it's West Monroe.
Okay,
For me it's
okay,
West
VK.
Monroe.
What I looked at West Monroe, Jena, St. Charles.
Oh boy, George is coming. It's coming, George. It's
I know,
coming,
I know,
George.
I know. I thought it
It's
was this
coming.
week. I thought it was this week.
We
I,
got a foreshadow. We got a
I really
I
thought it
foreshadow.
would be this
I
week.
could
What
I
everybody been waiting for VK to be VK. We got a
Austin,
foreshadow. It may
Austin
happen,
Tyler, are
y'all.
you watching, sir?
no, now
Austin
I'm like
Tyler, are you watching?
I'm like this. The reason why I had St. Charles in
Because they
consideration.
beat some big teams.
Thank you. Their resume
Mhm.
is really, really good. So that's a couple years ago. I had St. Charles in my top 5 because of the same thing. Their resume was really good, and it's like you can't sleep on it. And it doesn't matter what classification. If their resume is good, and you beat big teams and good teams down that line, because I think that season they beat 6 top 10 teams. So it's like you can't sleep on that. But there was considered, but I have to keep minds. That's why I changed this year, man. I don't think you're gonna see that. You got 2 more weeks left. So we're not gonna see that VK top 5 everybody keep asking about. I didn't learn from the best. See, that's why this year
Thank
I had
you.
to change up
Thank
this
you.
year.
Thank you. They
No,
gonna get it
man,
together. Look, let me
it's
ask y'all a
coming. Though.
question. Yeah, I still think it's coming. Let me ask y'all a question right quick before we take a commercial break and get to Coach Newsome of Ovey Comeaux. Um, two big rivalries happening. A lot of rivalries happening this weekend, but two big ones happening. Destrehan, Harnville, St.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas More, and
Turlings,
Turlings.
turlings.
And I don't remember the last time Turlings beat St. Thomas More. I think St. Thomas More has won maybe the last 8 or 9. When it comes to
Something
Destrehan,
like that.
Destrehan and Harnville, Destrehan, I believe, won the last 12 out of 13. The last one Harnville won was when they had Puka and they got to the state championship. Which one, which win? Let's say Harnville and Turlings wins. And we just speaking. This is just sports talk. Which victory would mean more to which team in your opinion?
I would say Turlings, because Turlings has been basically the bridesmaid for a long, long time under STM, and for them to win, and not just that, to have a chance to clinch the district championship for the first time in a long, long time, because they have been in that tough district for a long time, and it's been close, close, close. But but even over the years they played STM, even in close games, they would have STM in their sights, but they slip. It slipped some way, somehow. This time, this is their greatest chance. If they get this done, I mean, this is the fact that this would be a historic win for that school going forward, because now they feel like that they can compete. Not just that, they could be a contender in the state this year. So this is going to be a huge one. Hanville, it'll be as big as that, but I think the Turlins one would mean a lot more.
Peppers.
This is comparing apples to oranges, right? Because
Yeah.
when you look at Harnville and Turlings from their perspective, they have not beaten their rivals in a while. And I think in both cases it would be paramount victories, really, to be honest. If I had to pick one, ooh, man, this is hard. I would lean Turlings because STM coming into this week, they're starting to play STM football. They're starting to find that identity that Coach Hightower is known
You're
for, and
welcome,
they
Coach
know,
Fig. We thank you.
and they,
Thank you, Coach Fig.
and they they really are starting to kick into gear. Remember, they had a little bit of an up and down start to the season at St. Thomas More. Now they look like a team brimming with confidence. They're really starting to hit their peak. Turlings has to be on game Friday night. Yes, they host. But if I had to lean right now, if Turlings could beat that STM team that's playing good football, really good football, I think it's close. As I said, apples and oranges. Hornville's win over Destrehan would be titanic. But if I had to lean, slightly lean to Turlings and see if Cheese would change his mind about that statement that he made a little bit ago. Turlings beats STM.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to say
Mhm.
this. I'm going to say this. We're going to go to commercial break, and then we're going to bring in Coach Newsome of Ovey Comeaux. I'm telling you this: if Hornville wins Friday night, I'm telling you, because it's been so long since they beat Destrehan. It's been so long, and then 12 out of 13. That is crazy. That is just unheard of in that rivalry. I'm telling you, if Hornville wins come Friday night, they rush in the field. And with that, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Did you experience storm damage from Hurricane Francine? Barretto Home Solutions can help. You can give them a call at 504-940-7552.
At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
JFK Martial Arts offers a wide variety of martial arts programs for kids, teens, and adults as they empower lives through martial arts. please give them a call at 985-266-0664. And don't forget to ask about their 1 week free special.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy with VK Jones and George Peppers. This Thursday night, the Hash It Out Show Thursday night game of the week, we will bring you Bell Chase against Archbishop Shaw. Pre-game 6:45, kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can catch that on the YouTube page of JB, the sports guy, which many of you are watching this show on right now. Our next guest, he has his alma mater sitting at 5-3, and they are in the playoff race, and they're looking to finish strong to finish with a playoff spot. We have the one and only head coach of Ovey Comeaux, Coach Marquis Newsome. Coach, how you doing? And thank you for joining us.
How's it going, man? It's Marquis, man. Everybody gets it wrong, but it's okay. My grandmama's fault.
Marquis. Well, I apologize.
It's okay.
I don't like saying people's name wrong, so thank you for the correction. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Marquis Newsome. Let's get into it, Coach. You guys, what they went against Patterson, broke a 32-game or 33-game losing streak. Talk about how big that victory was, not only for the program, the players, and the coaches, but the community and the school as well.
I mean, it was huge, man. A lot of losing, but not a lot of context loss. The year before, we had 7 games where we were up, and we just couldn't close. The year before that, we actually had like a really, really good Southside team down 24-3 at half, and we just didn't know how to win. We just know how to finish. These are kids who have been forgotten, who were second, third string on the team in middle school. School almost got closed down. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. And to get that win, it kind of had the kids kind of feel like all the hard work and dedication paid off. It gives a new vibe to the school, to the students, to the administration, to the teachers, and just something that was well needed and well deserved. Just some great kids, man.
Definitely. Since you've taken over, what's been the main factor or factors of turning this football program around?
Just pretty much self-belief. Our kids didn't really believe in themselves. So it took a couple of years for them to actually buy in. The kids that were playing now as juniors and seniors, they were freshmen and sophomores that started for me my first year. We knew they couldn't stay young forever. We just kept telling them, trust the process, believe in how we're doing things. It's going to pay off. And we always said your junior and senior years is going to pay off, and we're here. And now they're playing against guys their own age. We're still not quite where we need to be as far as playing against the elite teams, but we hold our own pretty well against everybody else.
What does it mean to you to come back home to your alma mater and take over as the head coach?
I mean, it means a lot. I would say it's one of my happiest moments, a dream come true. Every kid thinks about when they become a coach to one day go back to the school that made them, help them become the man they are, and helping, continue what's going on there. Different situation with the losing going on and the different transition in coaches and everything going on there. It's not quite the same Comeaux I remember. I went to a school with 2,500 kids, and this one has like 700. So we're down to like 600 something kids, 700 kids. It's different, but I believe God puts you in places for a reason, and he told me to leave a very comfortable teaching job at a very good school to come here and help these kids believe themselves and build for the future. I'll always be a Spartan, and we have a couple of former Spartans on the staff. Any other Spartan that want to come help, it's nothing like having people from your place help build these young men for the future.
Agreed. VK Jones.
Coach Newsome, man, it's good to have you on the show and everything, man. And I remember, no problem. I remember Comeaux had a very nice football program and also a hell of a basketball program as well. I know y'all trying to get back in the swing of things, and I got to commend you on, really getting that football program back on track.
Appreciate it, man. I coach help with basketball too. Coach Taylor's the head basketball coach and athletic director. He's going to do some great things this year. it's just like I say, trusting the process and it's coaching. It'd be nice to go to a school chock full of talent. I coached at Westgate for a while. They had some talent, but I think Coach Antoine, who's a great mentor, can attest. Building a program is nothing like it. It has some rough days. You question yourself, you question your calling, you question your purpose, you question a lot of things. But as long as you stay with your eye on the prize and put faith in God, man, anything's possible.
Well, talk about, you know what I'm saying, that how surprised that the community is, how y'all are really making a huge comeback. And not just that, how is the area kind of surprising? Because we talk about the usual suspects in the Lafayette Acadiana area, but all of a sudden it comes Como and it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm humbled by the amount of support and love that we received the last few weeks. We've had the sheriff's department come talk to our kids, help us out with some things, feed us. The U.S. Army came feed us. The Rotary Club has been a part of this since I got the job. They've helped us out behind the scenes more than anybody can comprehend. And on top of that, the biggest help is going to be our booster club, our moms and our dads. Man, they have taken the stuff that we don't want to deal with as coaches, the food, the feeding, the knickknacks, and taken all that off my plate so I can just focus on football and help these kids develop as men. So it's a shout out to the moms and the dads of our booster club. Without them, none of this would be possible. They help our coaches just be able to coach. So the support that we're getting is very humbling and very appreciative, and I just hope it keeps coming in.
Let's talk about your players. Give us two key players, offensively and defensively, that has been leading the way for the Spartans.
Okay, offensively is easy for the first one. Jaden Celestine, he's top 5 in the state in rushing. My first year, the kid sat in my office with his parents, and we didn't preach the whole, how coaches talk. I'm gonna get you signed. I'm gonna get you to the school. We didn't preach that. I just said, man, I'm gonna make sure your kid has good grades. Is a good man, and I'm gonna hold him accountable and treat him like he's my own. His mom and dad trusted us. That was the first big piece that we received because everybody in the area was trying to get a hold of him. He decided to come to Comeaux. And when I say he's carried the offense, especially when our quarterback went down last week, a lot of people don't realize we played Northside last week, but our backup quarterback, because Sean Brinkhouse was out with a concussion. So that's why he had all the carries, the 28 carries last week. But the kid has taken on the challenge. His main thing has always been, Coach, I can always go to another school that's already winning, but I want to be the reason why we win. I want to be the engine that runs everything. And not too many kids these days say those type of things. Kids these days kind of want that instant gratification. So you go to a school that's already built and they sit the bench for 2 or 3 years. Man, Celestine's been starting for me since he was a freshman. He got his first offer as a sophomore. And a lot of people don't realize the sooner you go on that field, the more film you get, the better opportunity you have of getting signed. Like, he got his first offer as a sophomore. Now as a junior, everything else is just extra. So he's the engine that could. He's very determined. Great kid. The other guy on offense, God, I got to choose just one. Put him in the spot. And they're going to be mad at me. So I'm going to go ahead and go with one of our offensive linemen. Our center's going to be mad at me. Sorry, Reese, but I have to go with Damari Clay. He's our left tackle. First-year starter, has the most pancakes on the team. Brings a nasty demeanor. He accepts the challenges. I'm not saying he wins every battle, but he fights every battle, and he's gotten exponentially better every game. He's pretty much, when we need to make a run play, we run on his side. Now, our center, Reese, does a great job as well. Our O-line as a whole is doing a great job creating creases for Celestine, so shout out to the big and sexies. That's what we call them. They don't get enough love and respect and attention because as an O-lineman, the only time they say your name is when you hold somebody. Other than that, no one says anything about you. So, yes, Celestine is a heck of a talent, but without those guys making the holes for him, none of this is possible. I have to say Damari Clay is the surprise standout for us as far as offense. Defensively, I'm biased towards my D-line because even though I'm the head coach, I'll always be a D-line coach at heart. I'm going to start with our D-tackle, Braylon Thomas. We call him Texas. He just received his first offer to a school in New England. In England, not New England. 2 days ago. So congratulations to Braylon Thomas. This kid has grown so much. He started off as a small linebacker, and just now he's 6 foot 265. Can move, plays all throughout the line. He's a traditional do-it-all defensive lineman. He's, I want to say, first or second team in sacks, second team in tackles. Demands a double team every time he gets on the field. The next guy that stands out defensively, is once again, a lot of guys will be upset with me. Maybe just choose 2 guys, but it's gonna have to be Greg Dolphiny. Greg Dolphiny, my first year at Comeaux as a DC, I saw a little skinny kid who plays DB, and I said that kid's gonna start as a freshman. By his senior year, he's gonna be a dog. Took some licks as a freshman, took some licks as a sophomore, definitely took some licks as a junior, but now he's our most surest tackler. He lines our defense up in the back end. He defends passes well. He runs the alley well as a safety, whether he's playing the rover spot or the star spot. Great kid, 3.0 GPA kid, great parents. Parents are big support of the program. So those 2 guys to me that stand out defensively.
Well, you mentioned about the offense. I used to play offensive line myself, so it's all to the good, man. The big dogs, they gotta eat.
You gotta keep them fed too.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question, I'm gonna pass over to George Peppis. Kind of a 2-parter. One, you got a huge game this week at home, probably one of the biggest home games you're gonna have in a long time against a very good Lake Charles College prep team. What is the mentality going into this week to try to get a huge possible historic win for your program? And not just that, you have Westgate, the last game of the season. Both of these games, playoff spots on the line, especially now you're going against your mentor for the last game. What you can say about the Lake Charles College prep game and then the Westgate beat?
As far as the Lake Charles College prep game, man, they're good. Not gonna lie, the running back, he's like number 2 in the state. He's beating Celestine right now, and he's legit. Quarterback's legit, O-line's legit. But like I said before at the beginning of the program, we need that signature win to solidify us as an actual program. We didn't show up against STM. We didn't show up against Turlings. Even though the scores look crazy, the games were close to the beginning, and realized it was that self-doubt start creeping in again. So this is going to be a game where my kids are going to have to show the world and themselves that they believe in themselves truly, and they can beat a good opponent. Being a team is cool. Being a team that won 3 games is cool. The win against Northside was huge because they were the first winning team we beat this year. But this would be a statement win against a really good Lake Charles College prep team that's very well coached. None but respect for their coaching staff, none but respect for the athletes they have. It's going to be a tough game. But at the end of the day, all these games, especially in this area, are tough games. There's no such thing as an easy game in this area of Louisiana. So when you bring a tough team in, it's not like you've been facing tough teams all year. So I'm really confident our kids are going to step up and play the best game possible. Now, the Westgate game, once again, I would love to be Coach Antoine. Never beat him before. So I would definitely love to get a chance to beat him and say, I got you, bro. But, but at the end of the day, man, very well coached. Tyron has been the DC there for I don't know how long. He's brought that defense to a whole nother level. Coach Skees has been the OC. Once again, brings the offense to a whole nother level. I know those guys, they're going to be well coached. They have athletes, they have dudes. For some reason, we always play them very well, very tough. We just got to make sure, like last year, we was leading 10-8 at halftime. Once again, not knowing how to close. They have championship medal. They've been there. They wore us out at the end of the game. So hopefully this year, we learn from the mistakes and we push forward and we end this season a 2-game winning streak. We beat those 2 teams. We're looking at a home playoff game. That's what we're telling our kids. Yes, it's a hard task. I'm not saying it's going to be a layup because Lord have mercy knows it's not a layup. But man, God willing, and with faith and belief in God and these kids believe themselves, football is a game of inches. Anything's possible. So we just got to put our best foot forward and go from there.
George Peppers, you're
Coach, first off, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to join us on the Hash It Out Show. We greatly appreciate it. And we, as a group, we recognize teams like yours that are on the come up and making moves. And again, congratulations on the start that you guys have had. We're going to finish strong. First question. What how can I phrase it? What did you feel about your team coming into this season? You guys have made a little bit of progress, but this year you're 5-3 with 2 games remaining, 2 good games. What did you tell you? What was the goal at the start of the season for this team for Comeaux to have a good year?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to be more humble this year because last year I guaranteed playoffs and we went on 10.
Gotcha.
So this year I've decided just to be humble. Now I believe playoffs. I believe the same thing. I will always believe in my kids. These kids work their butts off. And the story behind these kids itself can be a story that can be written for hours upon hours about each individual kid and the kids as a whole. So the goal was always to make the playoffs. But intrinsically, of course, the first goal was to get that win and break the losing streak. The pressure on these kids sometimes, especially last year when the school board decides to tell us midway through the season that, you know, there's a chance the school will be closing down. Now the kids playing every down like it's going to save the school. And let's be honest, for 15 to 18-year-olds, that's not fair. Like, that's a lot of pressure for kids to deal with. Let them just play football, let them play sports. So the biggest issue, the biggest goal was to make sure we block all the noise, no matter what's going on as far as politics and all that stuff. We're going to control what we control, and all we control is on the field. So we was talking for the last 2 years that my first freshman class, their junior year, which is this year, will be the year we make a run. Now, with that being said, we lost 4 starters this year when the school board once again decides to take an academy from us. We lost 4 stars. One of the stars is starting linebacker at Lafayette High. Shout out to Clark Griffin. He's doing a heck of a job there. But we had to kind of get guys in ready to go in like a summer. Have there been bumps and bruises? Yes, they have, but those guys have stepped up. So it's always been the goal of making sure that we're in the playoffs. I made a deal with my team that we get in the playoffs, we win a playoff game, I'll cut my hair. And I've been growing my hair for years. So, you know, whatever happens, I mean, I'm gonna be happy for my wife. Man, I like the idea of me saying that, but I'll do anything possible to have the kids have some success.
That would be a heck of a social media thing for you to cut your hair after a playoff win.
Definitely going to record
that
it.
would absolutely.
If it happens, we can do it on y'all show if you want on your show. I promise you, like our
we do that. Definitely not a
we
problem.
Could do that. Yeah. We absolutely could. But I don't know if the wife would like it, though, you know, and everything else that, you know, but that's a discussion y'all two are going to have going forward. But no, you're 5-3 and you talk about making the playoffs and everything. Where do you feel like your team is right now as we hit the last 2 games of the season? Where do you feel like your team's at? Where do you feel like you can improve? It's a 2-part question.
Okay, I think as a whole, my team is getting to the point where they're not thinking, which is always great, especially on the defensive side. I think our defense played one of the best games last year against a really good Northside team. Larry Valier has stepped up. He's 6'3", 215. We were always waiting for him to be more consistent and not have just splash plays. He dominated that game last week. He's up for Player of the Week in the city. Had about 8 tackles, 4 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 pass deflected. So big, long kid who's finally starting to reach that potential. And as a whole, our defense is starting to find their ground and start rolling. Offensively, we're doing the same thing. I think what we can work on offensively and defensively is being more consistent. We're starting games too slow. Like I tell my kids, that's indication of our Monday practices, which Mental Mondays is always a little bit of a struggle for us because our kids like to be active. And those Mental Mondays are a lot of thinking and talking and just install. We got to do a better job of starting off faster because better teams are not going to allow us to come down from 21 and 20 and come back and win this game. So we saw that in the Turtles game. We saw it in the STM game. We got to do a better job of starting faster. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to work on as a coaching staff and as players is not starting slow, also just being more consistent.
What did you say you work with Coach Antoine at Westgate? What did you learn from him that you applied to this job at Comeaux?
Man, one of the first things he told me was, remember the motto, don't let nobody outwork you. You may have more talent than me on the field. You may be a better coach than me on the field, but one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to outwork my staff. We live at this place, man. We coach every sport. We give everything into for our kids. Our families do a good job of understanding that role and being included in the whole family process of being at school. But like just work. One thing I learned at Westgate, Coach Stu was a DC there when I was there. Like this guy would watch hours and hours and hours and hours of film before he went home to watch more hours of film. So that's one thing you gotta work. I'm not harping anybody else's program, but we weren't blessed with 5 stars on our team. Every kid that we've had either came with us not ever playing football or playing football 1 year and not playing. So we had to develop a lot of talent. It took a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time and sacrifice on the kids' parts and their parents' parts as well, and just outworking people. Simple as that. Once again, I'm not saying I'm the smartest or the best, but you're not going to find a coach that works harder than me.
And final question from me, and I can't believe I didn't ask this sooner, but I'll ask it now. What was it about Comeaux that lured you to go coach over there about that job? Being with Westgate, a program that has won a lot. Comeaux, obviously, a team that has struggled. What was it? What was the lure of Comeaux that brought you to them to be a head coach?
Going home. I didn't know what I signed up for because I always thought about Comeaux as the Comeaux I went to. We were the top of the pecking order of the school board. Anything we needed, we got. I remember when one time our calculators broke down in high school, and the next day we had brand new calculators. And we had 2,500 kids. Asked God what he needed me to do. He says, go home. So I go home, and Lord have mercy, I see why he sent me home. The school was a shamble of itself. It 1,200 kids. The vibe was different. Ms. White was doing a great job, but things politically was going on. And at the end of the day, the kids weren't getting coached. They were getting loved on, but they weren't getting coached. And so once I got there and got this staff together, which took a couple of hits, swings and misses on developing the staff, but I think we got the right guys in place right now just to coach. And if you come to our school on any day, that's one thing you're going to see going on is teaching and coaching. I'm big on that. And it's that idea of helping my home become a place where people can be proud of again, because I was always proud to go to Comeaux. We had options to go to other schools. We chose to go to the place we were zoned for. And I just wanted to pull back into what was poured into me.
Definitely. Coach Newsome, I'm going to hold you up to it. You win that first round playoff game, we're going to bring you back, and you're going to cut your hair right here on the show. I'm going to hold you to that, Coach.
Got you. Guarantee it. Got you.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward throughout the year, Coach.
Thanks, man. Appreciate y'all having me. Anytime you need me. Great show.
Gotcha, Coach.
Definitely.
No problem. Thank you, Coach.
Coach Newsome, ladies and gentlemen, of Ovey Comeaux, the Spartans. And if you go look at the power rankings, they in select. I'm sorry. I keep thinking they non-select, but they are in select. They are number 23. And remember, in select, the top 24 goes. And I'm going to put it up here for y'all, for everyone to see right quick. Hopefully I get the right one up. Let me see right quick. Nope, it's the wrong one. Of course it would be the wrong one. Can't get right. Getting like VK.
Oh, wow. That's cold.
It's all good. And I did it again. This ain't playing with me. I'm sorry, VK. It's playing with me, bro. I don't know why it's doing that. Because I didn't hit both of them.
I guess
I didn't hit both of them.
All
right, there we go. So they are number 23. 24 is Bonnable. So I can scroll down. There we go. Top 24 goes. Bonnable 24, Comeaux 23, Liberty at 25. And I think we said that race for 24 would come down between Comeaux, Bonnable, Liberty. We said Woodlawn, and we even said Southwood. I'm not going to count out Lafayette yet, but it's going to be a tough race for those last two spots, 23, 24. Warren Easton holding it down at 22 right now. Their strength factor is so high. I think that's what may help them stay in there with 2 games left they got coming up, that they really do need a win, Warren Easton. But we'll see what happens. But Comeaux, with those 2 games with LTCP, Lake Charles College Prep, and with Westgate, they can get both of those wins. My goodness. That's going to be some big time history making program wins, VK Jones.
Very much agreed. I think even here's the thing. If they get the win this week against Lake Charles College, I think they got to finish winning both. But if they can go either 1-1, but if they win this game, that's a wrap. They're in. Because you saying
they win this week, they in regardless.
They're in regardless. Lake Charles College Prep, look at their power rankings and look at who they played. That's major power points if they beat them this week. That's major. And then on top of that, they'll be in. The Westgate game is going to be more of, okay, can they get a better seed? They won't be better, but they'll rise up a little bit if they get both. But if they beat Lake Charles College Prep, they're in. Because Lake Charles College Prep is high on the power rankings, and they have played some good teams on the schedule and everything. So like I said, if they win, I think they win if they beat Lake Charles College Prep, and it's going to be more of an incentive more than anything else. Cheese, bro. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I think sometimes the power rankings can be a little flawed, to be honest with you, because sometimes why they don't. And here's my thing: why they don't go upon certain head-to-heads and everything else, because there are some opponents, some people's rankings, power rankings, is where it is, and sometimes we're shocked because why they're there and why they're not more higher. You know what I'm saying? I kind of question the system just a little bit. This is the perfect system we have for the playoffs, but sometimes it can be a little flawed because I'm telling you, they have some team. You know, some of these teams have some really good wins, and it's just a fact of the matter is why don't the power rankings count it? I don't understand that sometimes. I really don't. But and I'm and looking at the comment you're saying now, you seeing what I'm talking about. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, but I know how it works. But sometimes when you look at it, it's common sense when you look at it, cheese. When come on, they charge college prep, you look at the wins on their schedule. And on top of that, you look at the even the losses they had. So this is the fact of the matter is their power ranking is really good. For Como to try to have a win like that, especially at home, that's points. So the thing is, they got to take advantage of it. They take advantage of it. That's huge. If they don't win it, now it's do or die against Westgate. It's do or die to make the playoffs. So that's what will make it more bigger for week 10. But if they get it done week 9, pressure be a little bit off them. But it's just a fact of maybe if they win that, well, might have a little more of a better seed.
Peppers, your thoughts about Como with these two big games coming up and them holding this 23 power ranking spot for the time being, looking to move up, looking to get a first round playoff game. I think that'd be big for that school. What you think, Peppers?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt it would be big. Who's the 10 seed? Because that's who they would be slotted to play. I'm curious to see because I'm still
If,
fixated about the hair bet. So who is the 10 in that bracket
if you're going with it as of right now,
as of now?
It's Evangel.
Oof. Take his hairs. I mean, on a matchup, I think that hair bet is
They ain't
safe.
scared. They ain't scared.
No, he ain't scared, not at all. But you're asking me, look, the power rating system VK mentions it's flawed, and in some aspects it is. But you know what? To me, it's the most objective system that we have. I don't see any bias or favoritism, blatant favoritism to where you can manipulate stuff. The curators of this system do a very good job in factoring in wins against quality opponents, and I feel like is it perfect? No, but what is? What system is perfect is the thing I have. But for Como, this has to be a win Friday night against a very explosive LCCP. Lake Charles College Prep could score from anywhere on the field. Como's gonna have to bring it. And coach talked about their defenses getting better. This is a titanic challenge against that offense Friday night. And I think are they going to LCCP or are they coming? Are they home
No,
for that game?
they are hosting LCCP. They are
Okay, so
hosting.
that's going to be a big boost boost for their fans to house. So, do they have a chance? Sure. And then they close with Westgate, right?
Yep,
On the
Next
road.
week.
on
Okay,
the
well
road.
on the road, but then haha, I got you may come into play. If Como does win that game, but these are two very blistering challenges that are not impossible. It can be done, and according to coach, it will be done. He's going to when there's a will, there's a way. Um, but Como might. I don't know if they're safely in because Liberty's sitting right there at 25.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I'm about to hop into that. I'm gonna hop on in right quick because VK thinks they win one game they're in. If that, to me, my opinion, if they win one game and lose another, then they'll need help with everybody below them by them losing. That's just me. I think if they win two
Mhm.
games, they got it. And Cheese, if you go to louisianasportsline.com, our guy Cheese, he put the formula together and he has those power rankings up like that fast. He got it, and he when he says that he thinks they got to win both games because he's putting the formulas in like that, I kind of feel the same way. And I think this Ovey Comeaux team now, especially with the win over Northside and them having a winning record, I think this Ovey Comeaux team may make this happen because they have the belief now. They have the attitude, the mental toughness now. You know, they didn't have this some years ago. They went 2 straight years of 0-10. 0-10. Pretty much longer than that. I'm sorry, longer than that, because they had a 32-game losing streak. 32 games. And they just broke it. So now, got some wins on your belt. You beat a winning team at Northside. Now you got the belief. And now you see your school name in the top 24. Now you want to stay there. They about to come out swinging on LCCP. I'm telling you, they about to come out swinging. And if they get this victory over LCCP, you know how much more confident they're going to be going into Westgate?
How much of a do or die game more than anything else. And it's a Thursday night game at that.
Right. Thursday night at Westgate. This is big. And right now, for this program to be 5-3 is very big for this program. We talk about a school that was about to close. You heard Coach say it. And I'm glad he said that, because I really forgot they were about to close that school down. And sorry that I forgot. But
it sure did.
Yeah. My sister-in-law is a Ovey Comeaux alum. And she was telling me everything. That school is still open. And I'm glad it's still open. And now you got a winning program right now. If they go 5-5, everybody's gonna be sitting there saying, hey, what a year. Great year. We won 5 games. We didn't win a game in the last 32, 33 games. We won 5 games. And they're looking forward to next season. It's a lot of positive that's going to be said about Ovey Comeaux if they make the playoffs or not. A lot of positivity coming out of this school and this program right now. You got to credit Coach Newsome, because he went through 2 years without winning a game. And I'm sure people were saying, oh, he ain't the right guy. That I'm sure. But that's when you got to be patient sometimes, people. Things don't happen overnight. That's why I say you got to give him a 3rd year sometime, maybe a 4th year. You got to. And look what's happening in year 3 for Coach Newsome right now. Look what's happening. Everything started turning the corner, and you're 5-3. That whole Ovey Comeaux community need to be proud of their program right now, no matter what happens here on out. You got 5 wins. You at 500. You need to be proud of what has happened and look forward to next season if you don't make the playoffs. You make the playoffs, that's even bigger.
Is their own, is your sister-in-law really happy what's going on right now? I know she is as an alumnus.
Yeah, she happy. Yes, without a doubt. Big time. That's her alum. Keep an eye on him, want him to see him do well. She does. She plays sports over there. So,
Okay.
yeah, they kept the school open. She's happy about that.
The last I heard, Comeaux always had a good, consistent program years and years ago in both football and basketball. I remember one year they hosted, it was like 2010, the 2010, 2011, the year St. Aug won the state championship, when they hosted St. Augustine in the quarters. And that was an unbelievable war in that game. And St. Aug had to have a big 4th quarter to win that game. And that was a hell of a Comeaux program back then. So, and they had a nice football program too, and it's amazing that the decline of that school, it's unbelievable. We looked at the rise of Prairieville last week, and we're looking at the comeback of Comeaux this week and how they suffered through the times. And that's something when you go from 2,500 students to just 7 something right
700,
now.
he said.
And trying to hold on. So I'm hoping that Comeaux holds on. I hope they do hold on, and I hope they build from this year. I hope they build going forward.
It's so crazy that when I think about the Lafayette schools football stadiums I've been to. Um, been to Northside School many times for taekwondo tournaments. Um, went to Turlings a couple years ago for the first time. Went to LCA for the first time last year. Um, when I went to STM, 2 years it's 2 years ago now, yeah, because Shaw won the championship last year. When I went to STM, I passed up a sign that said Ovey Comeaux, and I stopped and I said, "Comeaux is that close to STM? Very close, very close. Turlings is that close to Northside, very close. We're
And look,
talking, and then you got to look at it. We're talking private school and public schools, like right there.
look at how the turn came upon that time. You're looking at those two schools in itself. Northside is another program,
Yeah,
and they're trying to make the comeback in both sports. And it's the fact you're
let's not
having
forget Lafayette football right now. I've been to Lafayette too.
Lafayette
They're coming
football.
up. Yeah,
They're trying to come up a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? But you look at it, they're battling between some of the privates and some of the charters. Like Northside, you got to deal with Turlings. Como, you got to deal with STM. And then you have now Southside. So it's interesting times in that Acadiana area. You still got Acadiana High, Lafayette. It's some interesting times. We knew some of those schools were big time back in the day, took a fall and trying to rebuild back up. And it ain't an easy toll, but then people working. And people working to try to get it back up.
come on, Peppers, what you got to say?
Really not much more, not much else. But I think even if they don't get it done, as you mentioned, JP, just piggybacking, the fact that they've won 5 ball games after the turmoil that they've had over the last 3 years, it says a lot. And then beating Patterson, who you haven't beaten in goodness gracious since 30 something years, I think they said that they haven't
What?
beaten Patterson.
No, it was no. They were on a 32 or 33 game losing streak. They
Oh,
broke it
they
against
ended it
Patterson.
against Patterson.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, I noticed that. Okay. Man, I'm just fixated about this bet though. If they play Evangeline, beat Evangeline, we get to have a haircut on a headshot. So VK, you could cut the man's hair.
It's a haircut regardless, whoever they play. If they make the playoffs
Exactly.
and win their first round
But
game, they
I
come
think
back
if
with a
they
pretty hair.
win, if they, I don't know if anybody behind them can pass them. I'm looking at 24 Bonnable. I think they play Riverdale this week.
They
I
pay
think they get
no,
Riverdale
they get Riverdale next week. Week
next
10.
week. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know who it's this week. I know Eric plays Higgins this week. Uh, Bonnable. Anyway, I'm trying to
East
see
Jeff has
behind them, and then
Riverdale. East Jeff has Riverdale.
right.
So that
I'm
means
looking at it
Bonnable
from
would
the
have
aspect of how many of those teams behind them can win this week. You know, you got Woodlawn, you got Southwood. It looks like with Lafayette,
Woodlawn,
who
Southwood. Yeah.
and Lafayette, and then John Everett and EJ. I think it's right there with them clumped in. I don't know how
John
many of
Everett,
those teams are 30th. I don't know if any of those teams can win. And I'm not saying Como losing it. If Como plays close and loses this week, I think they're still safe. And then that Westgate game is going to be in a ton next week because I look at the numbers from 23 to 28, 27. I mean, it's still close. So yeah, you
Oh,
would almost think they'd have to win. But if they play close and look, remember also the computations of these ratings is who you play and what they do. So if those teams that they played win, every little point helps.
that's correct.
Decimals count. So if those teams win and Como does well and whatnot, they've got a reasonable chance. But regardless if they make it or not, 5-5. Anybody here raise your hand if you think they would have won 5 games this year, considering what's happened to them? I don't think anybody with a straight face, would even the most ardent Como supporter, would have told you 5 wins is an absolute blessing this year. It really is.
I
And
agree.
You know,
Um,
so whatever happens, happens. I think they're playing with house money here, y'all. I really do because nobody in their mama would have thought they're 5-3. They have a chance at a winning record. That's the other thing none of us have said. So, and considering the 32 game losing streak, anybody again, raise your hand if you thought they would have a shot at a winning record right now. Nope. But you know what? That's a testament to Coach Joseph and his group. Coach Joseph, what am I saying?
Newsome.
I'm
Coach
sorry.
Newsome.
Newsome, I said Joseph. I don't know where I was getting that. My bad. But it's a testament to his work ethic and his staff. They've put things together and they've got a chance. I mean, is it a great chance? I can't say it is. But we'll see.
Let me answer this question right quick. This guy says if John Curtis loses this Friday, where would they go in the rankings? If they lose, I still have them in top 4. I don't think they'll drop out the top 4. So I think they'll still be in the top 4 with that one loss to Edna Carr. So that's just what I have. And
I think if they lose close, maybe. I think if they lose close, field goal, touchdown, I would tend to agree that they stay in that top clump of teams, 4, maybe even 3. I think if they lose close, I think you can make the argument, hey, we've ransacked everybody else, but we took the best team in the state conceivably and took them to the wire. Nobody's done that with Carter this year. No one.
Yeah,
no
American
one.
Heritage.
Except the school, except
American Heritage.
who the heck is that? Yeah, the Heritage School. But I'm talking about in-state. Let me paraphrase. In-state schools, no one's been close.
Well, when I look at it,
no one.
Curtis is a whole point. Well, 0.99. I'm estimating a whole point behind Edna Carr. And
Yeah,
they're 0.32 above Alexandria. So I'm still saying top 4. If they lose, I still think they're top 4.
What if they get blown out?
It don't matter. They can get blown out. It's still.
It doesn't matter. So margin of victory means nothing.
It don't mean nothing because it's still a
okay. I don't think so either.
It's a top 5 matchup, man. It's a top 5 matchup. So
there you go.
Regardless of that.
All right. From the last couple things from the chat right quick. Jordan Taylor. You too, bro. Definitely. Cheese. I think Cheese got the formula thing. He knows. He said they would drop to about 4 or 5 with the loss in the power ratings, just eyeballing it. Okay. I'm saying top 4. How are we feeling for Thursday, Shaw versus Bell Chase? What's up, Gustavo? What's up, Gustavo? Gustavo, all I'm going to say is this. We're feeling great. We are excited that we are calling that game for you all. Okay, Gustavo? So tell your family, tell your friends who aren't going to the game to tune in to Shaw versus Bell Chase on the YouTube page of JB the Sports Guy so they all can see you play, Gustavo. That's how we feeling about it, okay? We can't sit here and say who we think gonna win, this and that. No, because we calling the game, Gustavo. Can't do that. Another question. All ranked 6. How is all ranked 6 if they lose the car? Regardless if it's close or not, regardless if it's close or not, they lose. So they should drop like all did. It's not that. August number 6, but Aug has played a good schedule. They played a good schedule. They have. Cali League is tough, and they had a legacy team come from Texas, and McDonald 35 has a winning record. They're winning. So pretty much everybody they've played has a winning record, pretty much. But they have Holy Cross this week, and then you get John Curtis week 10. So if St. Aug wins these 2 games, they got a chance to rise up higher in the power rankings, especially if they beat Curtis. So they got a chance to still move. It just happened. They lost to Edna Carr in week 5. That's 3 weeks ago now, 4 weeks ago. So yeah, they kept winning. So yeah, they climbed back up. So St. Aug looking to get a higher seeding, and we'll see what happens from there. Cheese, get y'all some buddy power points, huh? he wants Shaw to win. That's what he's saying. Cheese from LCA. All right, guys, let's go ahead and close this up. Look. You look. I'm not. You're not understanding how the power rankings work. You're looking at it as if they lost, they should drop further. That's not how the power rankings work. It's a whole formula. It's a formula, and that's why it is what it is. So it's not me telling me stop it. No, I'm telling you it's what the power rankings do. That's all it is. That's it. I
That-
understand you saying same schedule as Curtis and this and that. Okay, I get it. And you saying they should drop to 6 if Curtis lose. I get what you're saying, but that's not how it works with the power rankings.
no,
That's not how it works. That's why I'm saying top 4, because they got a good strength factor. They got a high enough points to keep them where they at for right now. Now, if they lose another game, they're saying, oh, then Curtis may drop down to 6, 7. It's possible. But it's just how the power rankings are and how the formula is.
then you have to think, sir, it's a combination. It's a combination of basically the strength of schedule overall and also the district that they're in. Those two is a big combination in those power rankings. And the thing is, you look at it, the Caddy League is one of the toughest districts in the state anyway. So they're going to have a legitimate and good power rankings anyway. Just like the North Louisiana district with West Monroe, Alexandria, they're going to have a high power ranking in their district. So it's the combination of
It's because those teams are good. That's why.
Exactly. It's the combination of the strength of schedule in the non-district and the district strength. So that's just what it is. That's why Curtis is not gonna go down any further. Like JB said, if they do lose the car and St. Aug, they will go down, but not that far. They will go down, but maybe 5 or 6.
Yes, they have a bye.
But that's
regardless.
exactly. But that's just how it works, dude. That's how the power rankings work.
Yep. District 9-5A hurts them because they all end up with like 6, 7 wins. True. That's true. Because Brother Martin, Holy Cross, Jesuit. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go ahead and end this show, fellas. Any last? Whoa, well, I got some breaking news first.
Uh-oh.
All right, got some breaking news because we were trying to get a second game. All right, second game. You know, we had a game beginning of the year, and that got, this whole City Park thing just changed some things up with us. So we couldn't do it. We can't do that game. But we do have another game. All right. We do have another game, and it's Saturday for 2:00. And that's going to be Jefferson Rise versus Thomas Jefferson. So Coach Chris Current gave us the okay. He says he's very, very happy that his squad can get some publicity their way. So, and he says he thinks they'll definitely wake up since we're doing the game. Definitely. So, definitely, man. So, big thank you to Coach Curran, and we got that game Saturday, and then Thursday, Shaw Bell Chase. It is going down. All right. Last words, Peppers.
Normally we intersect sports, and we do great things with our show, but I want to throw a little real life thing for us, and as residents of Louisiana, we go through this 6 months a year hurricane season. I want to say a prayer to the people of Jamaica that are about to get absolutely hammered, or if they haven't already, by this monster
They have.
of a hurricane in Melissa. It's 185. It came in at 185 miles an hour. The island nation. I shudder to think what we're going to see when we wake up post storm. And for us, that we go through this 6 months a year with hurricane season, and we got to always cast a wary eye. And the crazy thing, it's the only storm in the Caribbean that formed this year. Every other storm was off the African coast and in the deep Atlantic. This was the only one to form in the Caribbean. But to the people of Jamaica, our prayers, our thoughts are with you. We hope that you have taken the necessary steps to ensure safety. We hope that everything is protected, your house, your pets. And on the Hash Out Show, all the three of us, I speak for the three of us, our prayers and our thoughts go out to you all. And we pray that you can make it through this horrific storm.
VK Jones.
Appreciate those words, George. Appreciate those words, bro. Straight up.
They're heartfelt, dude.
Absolutely. We need to pray for those people out there in Jamaica and everything. Going through some hard stuff. Man, good show tonight, man. It's good to find out we got a second game on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? It's good that we're ready to get it going week number 9, and we're ready to get things rolling, getting ready for the playoffs and all that stuff, and what a week in the state of Louisiana with sports news, man. It's just been freaking crazy times, you know what I'm saying? But final thing I'm gonna say is, saying come back tomorrow. Got the picks, but then also a huge shout out, and I'm gonna say this to the modern day Babe Ruth, and that's Shohei. That's Otani. Shohei Otani of the LA Dodgers. He is the modern day Babe Ruth. If you've seen what happened yesterday, unfreaking believable. I mean, wow. He's doing it all. It's amazing, and he's pitching in the next game. Amazing stuff,
Tonight.
man. Tonight he's pitching in this game. It's amazing what he has done as a baseball player since he has come in this country. Amazing. Big shout out to Shohei Ohtani.
Definitely. Fred Sanford. Yes, we had Coach Jay Roark on earlier today. Earlier on the show, I should say. I'm sorry. Yes, and y'all been doing some big time things, man. So keep it up. Keep it up, man. So we're back tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk some power rankings for a good little minute tomorrow. And then we'll do the picks. And you'll find out tomorrow who won week 7. And you also will have
Week 8. Week 8, brother. Week 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Week 8. You'll find out who won week 8. And then we'll give the overall totals going into week 9. Back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. So make sure you all come back and join us. And like I said, Thursday, right here on the JB the Sports Guy YouTube page, we will have Archbishop Shaw versus Bell Chase. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll start pregame at 6:45. And then Saturday, Jefferson Rise versus Thomas Jefferson pregame at 1:45. Kickoff at 2 o'clock. I want to thank Jena's head coach, Coach Jay Roark, and I want to thank Coach Newsome of Ovey Comeaux for joining us. Thank y'all so much. Everybody that tuned in, thank y'all so much. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification on also. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. And hopefully y'all tune in Thursday and Saturday. For VK Jones and for George Peppis, I am JB, the Sports Guy. And if the Hornville Tigers heard me, if y'all win, do what I say. Rush that field. Y'all take care.
Hey, parents and coaches, want your young athlete to go far on and off the field? Kumon of Gretna is the place for you. Whether it's reading plays or calculating scores, early literacy and math skills teach focus, discipline, and decision making. Give your student athlete the edge. Start early, start smart at Kumon of Gretna. Buck Snow was the place to go as a kid growing up to get snowballs. As an adult now, it is still the place to go. When you want some of the best snowballs and some of the best customer service, Buck Snow is the place. Now, excuse me, let me get back to my half grape, half pink lemonade snowball. Buck Snow is located at 1508 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero, Louisiana.
If you're looking for the best pizza in Metro New Orleans, then you're in the right place. Moe's Pizza has a great selection of Italian food that can satisfy your appetite, and they can also cater to your needs in any event. Give them a call at 504-341-9650 or log on to www.moespizzanola.com, located at 1112 Avenue H in West Wego, Louisiana. Moe's Pizza, Italians do it better.
If you ever need help with 401k services, fiduciary services, or executive benefits, then Jeremy Callaghan of CoSource Financial Group is the guy to see. You can reach him at 337-606-9860.
Hi, I'm Erica Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching The Hash It Out Show.
Thank you for watching The Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.